Sovereign silhouette, the emblem of Ambazonia. From the azure embrace of the Atlantic reflecting from the Ambas Bay, the iconic Fako mountain ascends with a silent, stoic grace, carving a silhouette against the sky. This towering sentinel is more than a geographical marvel. It is the heart of southern Cameroons, the stoic guardian of Ambazonia, a symbol steadfast as the unyielding spirit manifests in the unity of the land's 13th counties. Encircling this earthen spire, a dove of peace edges its arc, untouched and serene. As it soars with wings unfurled, it casts shadows upon the land, each feather a brushstroke of tranquility. Against the canvas of the heavens, 13 stars glimmer, the celestial acknowledgement of each county's shared dreams and harmonious virtues. The dove, in its eternal flight, is not merely a bird, but an embodiment of the collective longing for a peaceful existence under a shared identity. Beneath the mountain top, firmly grounded in the richness of the earth, twin elephant tusks rise as natural monuments. Their arcs, regal and commanding, capture the noble essence of the land spirit animals. This emblem, this seal of Ambazonia, is no mere insignia. It is the beacon that illuminates the path to shared prosperity. It is an oasis of unity in a world parched by discord, a visual whisper of a nation's promise, echoing across generations. Every curve, every symbol within the emblem tells the story of southern Cameroons, an epic scripted by the enduring strength and unity of its communities. Each page imbued with the hopes and enduring spirit of its people. Sovereign silhouette, the emblem of Ambazonia.
Greetings to the people of Ambazonia and the people around the globe that have found ABC a channel that comes in to tell you the truth of what they have heard and what they know. Our Amba history in this year 2024, being the year of focus, would be calling the attention of not only Ambazonians, but the attention of the entire world. That means the international community to prick their conscience to get up to the reality of history. Like I have been saying, and as I have noticed, uh, we have discovered that the world entirely has tilted to lies telling and to crooked living, of which makes us to go back to find out what is really happening. And like we have been saying in our church and politics, bringing in the spiritual to the reality of what we are living, we have discovered that the human being is an entity that is dual. Dual in the sense that you see the individual as an individual, but when you get closer, the behavioral conduct proves that there is a strength, there is a force, there is a power that is working unnoticed. Many people do not understand what it is. How come that the truth is put forth in black and white, written, very clear, planned, orchestrated by human beings, yet they will give a blind eye and a deaf ear when it comes to implementation? I have told people, and I'm still telling people, that true. We are in the very last days, as had been written, had been prophesied, and some uh, other people who are diviners, uh, some of them who are soothsayers, and other implications that can only be properly diagnosed spiritually have gotten into this life. I do not know whether some of these people are actually human beings or they are aliens who are supposed to be in the other planets that we are told that, you know, there are different planets, and they have infiltrated themselves into the planet Earth, because it beats a normal human being's imagination that something is very clear like this, not that is handed over by God directly, but that the people themselves, they went into doing it by themselves. They wrote it down, yet they cannot implement what they wrote. And all the good things that they put together, they are not able to actually get these good things going. But what you hear, what you notice, and what you see is evil and evil and evil, and that continuously. It beats the imagination of a morally upright person. Um, our history in Ambazonia is rooted in the Creator, God Almighty. And the average person in that land, before it actually uh, became, or their eyes were open like the eyes of Adam and Eve in the garden, and they realized that they were naked, before that time arrived, an average person in Amberland was having a conscience. And I remember in the early 60s, when in Amberland you hear that somebody has died, whether you know the person or not, there will be some remorse. And some people actually went crying without knowing who has actually died, but just heard that a human being has died. And in that confusion, not knowing where the person is going to, they knew that the person was born and born into this village or into that clan or into that tribe, but now he has suddenly died. And since there is nobody to tell us the life after death, people were in great dismay and used to be very shocking. But we have come up to a stage where, sincerely, I do not know what is actually going on with humans on the face of the earth, because human beings who are supposed to be maintainers of the earth, as God made them the gods on the face of the earth, have continuously and continually gone the wrong way. The wrong way is that the consequences of their disobedience to the Creator, they are very much revealing, and people are going through the payment of that particular, the result of that consequence of being disobedient. Yet man is adding to those consequences in punishing and putting man in a terrible state. The plan of the Creator was that the earth should be occupied. And when I take off from any airport in the world and I fly a few thousand miles into the sky and still able to see some patches of the earth, you discover that the earth is completely very, very empty. And that the places that are occupied by human beings in the next 1 million years, if human beings are not dying, that is when they will be able to fully occupy every bit of land upon the face of the earth. But this has not occurred. Men are being born and men die. And death came as a result of that gross disobedience to the Creator. And so there will always be death and there will always be births. But in this transit period, because anybody who comes in here through birth definitely will have to die. That is the heritage that we got as a result of disobedience. But before you die, people who were the first, they used to live 900, 700, 500, 300, and something years. But today, if you are, like I saw in the social media, one person, they say, is one of the oldest men on the face of the earth, 133 years. He's worse than a baby, a little baby that is born. He cannot walk. He's being fed. He's being carried from one place to another, from one room to another. And of course, he's being cleaned up just like a baby. So, what's the use of living on this planet Earth when you cannot take care of yourself? You were a baby at birth, and now at old age, you are a baby. To me, that is punishment. It's not life. Now, let's leave that aside. Let's come back to the life which we are living. Now, there is a criteria, there is a standard, and that standard is for us to tell the truth of what is going on. And so today, I am introducing to us a document which I'm going to call some of the experts historically to tell us, particularly some of the things that still concerns Ambazonia. Even though a refuge of lies have been propounded, but these lies cannot cover the truth that shall not be revealed. Since the fall of man, of which some people say is a myth, that nothing and nobody existed like Adam and Eve, according to them, they don't know the origin of man, they don't want to know, and so they come up with a theory that will keep them in the blues. That means just live in a vacuum, emptiness, and then you just know that you will die. And so many theories, which I don't want to go into, have been propounded. Or when you go, you'll be born like an animal, you'll be born like a dog and blood. That's why people are so passionate with cats, so passionate with dogs, more than even human beings. Because according to them, they have that weird theory in their minds. Put there by who? By the enemy of God. The enemy of God does not want you and I to believe that there is a supreme being that created you and I in his image. You want to believe that we are on the planet Earth as an accident, a coincidence of something that happened. Well, I'm not getting into that. What I want to let us know is that, and I'm not going to go into the elaborate history of the whole world. We have been talking about this particular land called the Southern Cameroons that has been taken hostage by a particular nation, neighboring nation, and this neighboring nation is actually acting like gloves, but the real hand behind it is France. And we see that shamelessly, like the devil will also come around when God's children are gathering. He is the main opposer. He will also surreptitiously come amongst them and sit down and behave as nothing is happening. Meanwhile, he's the devil. So also France, that is a devil behind the tortures, the pains, the annexation of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, that we just changed the name to Ambazonia. It was Southern Cameroons. And a number of people have come up with, each person with his own theory. Each person with his own theory. And the people who propounded and brought in some of these theories, some of them are still alive. And they're sitting in a conspiracy of real silence. I do not know what they want to gain, of which gain will not and cannot be everlasting. It has where to end, and it will definitely end where it has to end. And so I want to let Ambazonians know that God helping us tomorrow, by this time, we shall be coming up to talk a little bit about some recent agreements, which are not up to 20 years, concerning our land, Ambazonia. From the article, when I started looking at the article of this historical fact, I discovered that some of the situations we are suffering now, they started more than a century ago, more than 100 years ago. And I see that some of them are just about some 80-something, 70-something years, not too long, that we are in this situation. Now, the Green Tree Agreement, which is a very popular and well-known agreement within the peripherals of the African Union, the nations, international community, as they call them, is the settlement of a dispute that came in between Cameroon and Nigeria. And unfortunately, This agreement was actually signed. I say I'm just introducing it today. We shall be talking elaborately on this tomorrow, God willing, with some experts that have knowledge and good knowledge. And that's why I'm asking, why is it that the good people on the earth are failing? Good people on the earth are failing. And some white folks that came out to prove to us that they came as a light, but they were devils incarnate. I call it very clear, devils incarnate. And no wonder, when I look into the Bible, I hear them saying that no wonder for Satan has transformed himself into an angel of light. And we are told that though they came to deceive us, bringing some narratives that are not coinciding with the origin of Satan, but we are told that Satan was very, very beautiful, very handsome, like you have some of these white people. So Satan is from the family of the whites. Let nobody deceive you that Satan is a black man. No, Satan is from the family of the whites. And that is why their demonic intuitions have gone to destroy the entire world. Now, what am I saying that? You will say, Pastor, you are a pastor. How can you be saying that? I'm saying this because in the history of Ambazonia, we can clearly see the fingers and the hands of the white fellows who are causing confusion and bringing dispute amongst the blacks. And the blacks themselves, they are also assistant devils. Many of them are assistant devils because they do not want anything to happen with them as it's supposed as it's supposed to be. I'll be right back after this break and
Oh, Almighty Father, Papa, now you love me so, and you know my name. I give you glory, Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy. You know me, you know my name. I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me.
thank you very much, Reverend. Thank you very much for coming in with that intervention. Thank you. Yes, as I was saying, it is rather very much unfortunate, very, very unfortunate that some of these people whom we thought and looked upon to be gods for deliverance, they have instead come in and put us in the worst of bondages that has also caused the rapid deterioration and decay of the human being, because it was as a result of sin being multiplied upon the earth that people's ages were reduced and reduced and reduced and reduced and reduced. And when you get over to 70 now, you are already getting very much downwards. You know, you hardly can find people at the age of 75, 80, still strong and running, but very few, very few. And if you go to look at the history of these men who are strong and doing exploits at that age, some of them have dedicated themselves either to God or to the devil, because the devil has also something to offer to those who are, honest with him. But it has a very short life, because after death, that many people have speculated, there is something like going back to the creator. And so the Green Tree Agreement is a dispute which was settled in 2006, to be precise, in June 2012 in New York City, where the fighting teams that were disputing that particular area in Africa, particularly the Bakassi Peninsula, which is known and well known for its rich oil reserves, Nigeria, and it's supposed to be Nigeria and the Ambazonia, but Cameroon, thinking that they own southern Cameroons, stepped into and overcrossed their boundaries at independence and came in to struggle for Bakassi. I want to let you know that some of these evil fellows who have, through technology, studied a lot of things, this battle started in 1913. In 1913, where some of these explorers who visited Africa with their compasses and with the advancement in technology and also in demonology, discovered a lot of things which were hidden and which are hidden under the earth. For when God created man, he actually gave man everything that he needed for life in the Garden of Eden. And man was to live forever in that garden. But because of that disobedience, it also transpired and got caught up with Ambazonia. And as the other nations are suffering the consequences of that mishap, Ambazonia also got into the squams of suffering the consequences of the disobedience of those fellows. And so the Amazonian history is actually very rich and tied to a lot of blessings, because that Horn of Africa, that Gulf, the Gulf of Africa, not the Horn, but the Gulf of Africa, seems to be the deposit of a lot. And sometimes I am tempted to suspect that the Garden of Eden was hanging around that area, and the Tower of Babel was hanging around that area, because if you go around the world, you discover that these people in this area, they have diverse languages, different from one another. And so the confusion that came from the Tower of Babel is actually found in Africa, meaning that Africa was the hub of creation and the hub of where God established his stay. Well, I wouldn't go into the nitty-gritties of that particular aspect of spirituality. We can talk about that in our church and politics. But today, in our Amba history, I'm just telling us that the history of Ambazonia is deeply rooted in the history that I would say, if we are talking about history in the whole of Africa, Ambazonia's history will be so deep. Now, the Green Tree Agreement, which I told you started as early as 1913, the fight in that area, extended and expounded until there was to be a real bloodshed in that part of the world that caused the international community to all step in. And because knowingly to us, the owners of the land, or unknowingly, the people saw the profit that was to come out in that line. And that's why when there was a boiling in the hearts of the people of Africa, of course, engineered by some of these criminals in white collars and in white faces, they decided that, okay, they should step in. And when they step in, unfortunately, Paul Biya of La République du Cameroon, forgetting to know that 1st January 1960 was its Independence Day, and that 1960, 1st of January, his territory did not include the Ambazonian, the Bakassi Peninsula, which is in Ambazonia. He joyfully and enthusiastically jumped in to think that he owns the southern Cameroons, whose independence was on the 1st of October 1961, even though he did not vote for our independence. You can imagine the irony of the whole thing. This criminal regime did not vote for the independence of Ambazonia. And how Ambazonia came to be said to have been joined to them, of course, without a union treaty, which makes it null and void. They have been trying to do everything to hide some of these fundamentals to the average people. But we are here to unveil and to let the people of Ambazonia origin, especially, and some of the Francophones that are making noise because lies have been told to them. But when you are taught a lie, definitely you will believe a lie. You will live a lie. You will act a lie. And everything about you will be a lie. But now, the documentation and the documents that were signed by some of these people who are now pretentiously sitting silent, making their gains, and I do not know the good reason why they are punishing and killing other people before their time. I do not know. Maybe they themselves don't know, because Satan sends you in an illusional journey, which at the end of the day, you will have a shadow that never produced the right result. And so, on that green tree judgment, which the experts will talk about it tomorrow, because we really want to find out from them what it was really about and how La République came about it, and how it is not what La République thought, and the number of people that have been killed as a result of La République and France, particularly France, discovering that they have been, that they tried to trick the whole world, but eventually fell into the trap. They started a killing spree. They killed Kofi Annan, as they tried and killed Doc Hammarskjöld, as they killed a number of people as a result of us getting free. They have killed a number of people, which tomorrow, God willing, we shall be bringing to you with the experts that shall be sitting on the table. Now, these are not speculations. Just recently, a young, talented Ambazonian in the name of Professor Cha was recently poisoned and killed by the Republic of Cameroon because of some moves that he started taking. And that is the modus operandi of La Republic of Cameroon. Anybody that, they see that is going to bring the freedom of the people, they step in and they kill the person, especially when the person has not appropriated, open up to accept the defender, the only defender of Ambazonia, Jesus Christ, the righteous. Yes, some people have called it a myth. Some have given all kinds of names. But then the truth is that many people don't get their missions to the end, especially when they try to do it on their own. And as we say that the truth will prevail, some people run with the truth just for an extent, to a certain level, and that truth fizzles out when they are killed. Then there are some, when they are destroyed, the truth instead explodes. And once somebody has started with the truth, no matter how much the enemy and of truth and liars do to exterminate that truth, they can kill the person, but the ideology will always and will continuously continue until it reaches where it's supposed to reach. I was just saying that it is very, very shocking that witnesses to this great accord, this peaceful agreement that was settled between Nigeria and Ambazonia, which La Republic claimed to be their own. Let's call it the way they call it, between the Republic of Cameroon and Republic of Nigeria. Paul Biya was the main person on the side of La Republic of Cameroon, and Obasanjo was the person in the side of Nigeria. These two human beings are still alive. They are still alive. One is, I don't know whether he's still thinking, a person like Paul Biya, but Obasanjo is still strong and healthy, going around doing his business, Then the greatest of the shocks that we shall want to exploit when we get into the details of the green tree, because many people don't understand. What is green tree? What is green tree? Well, tomorrow we shall look at it and understand what it is. But many people who do not know, please don't be disturbed. You shall know if you tune in tomorrow, Thursday, the 18th of January 2024. You shall be able to understand a number of explanations so that you can now see how the world is wicked to itself and wicked to the environment, in that people like the Federal Republic of Germany, the United States of America, the French Republic, and the United Kingdom of Great Britain, they were all witnesses to this Green Tree Agreement, and they all signed. They all signed. That was on the 12th of June 2006 in New York. Now you can imagine that after the signing, of course, details were brought out, of which in the agreement, La Republic was told to go back to their boundaries at independence, and Nigeria was told to go back to its boundaries at independence. Now, La Republic has been trying every bit of thing to remove the ancient landmarks that divided southern Cameroons from the French Cameroons, They have been doing everything possible to remove the landmarks and to change the boundaries. And it has not worked. And because it has not worked and it will not work and it's not working, they now employ themselves to work with France. And we know that France is the mafia country in Europe that is surviving on the blood of Africans. I listened to a report, a documentary of the African presidents that were out to liberate its people, and they were killed. And most of the sponsors of the killing were the French people, was France. And the game that they play is like they are doing it today. They don't come in with their white skins to come and fight and kill. Everybody will raise an eyebrow. So what do? They pick up people who are gullible, people who are selfish, people who have me and not we in their vocabulary, but they are still calling the name of a particular country, but they have been made to think of me. They are armed by some of these foreign thieves who are like bed bugs, living by sucking and parasites on Africa. And then when they get these parasites, they carry out their activities and they sit them quiet. It's unfortunate. And I've seen a catalog of those Africans that were God sent to liberate their countries from bondage, mentally, academically, physically, and otherwise, being taken out of the way. Well, somebody will say, well, Mr. Pastor, you can blame them because you look at the spiritual aspect of it, but these people, they look at the gains. And what are the gains? The gains are rubbish. The gains are nothing because tomorrow you die. So what happens to your gain? You have killed the innocent who have died before their time. Yet you will also die. It doesn't matter how old you are. You will also die. And when you die, what you achieve by killing that person will never make you to stay forever. So you see how stupid, how foolish the whole world is. Fighting for what cannot keep you alive forever is useless. Well, some people say that, well, religion came and brainwashed us for this and that and that and that. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Because the same thing you think you call religion, yeah, it's really religion. But when Jesus, the Son of the living God, he came to make you to be a child of God, to reason the way we are reasoning now. That what you have is not what is going to keep you forever. So share it with others. But we see that the rich are becoming richer and getting richer in their misery. Because if you look at some of these people who call themselves rich men, they are very, very miserable. Because it is not that money. Yeah, it's true that they have affluence and they move with an air of satisfaction. But they are dying. Many of them are dying. And so Ambazonians, that we are fighting to have our land free is not because we want the land or we want the Ambazonian people to live forever. We want to at least, okay, look at where I am. I'm freely talking. I know that if there's anybody that's going to come behind me in this land, in this country, it's La République du Cameroon, of which they will not see me because I will go at the time that God had prepared that I should go. And that's why I must tell you, the young ones, especially those of you who are sitting on the fence, I'm telling you this because we have suffered in a land that is blessed by God and a land that is ours. That God, when he created the world, he put us in that place, gave us that portion on the part of the earth to enjoy everything that is underground. But we are not able because foreigners and thieves have come in, use some other people that they think that they are more powerful to subjugate, usurp, and put us in perpetual poverty so they can control. They have been trying to do the narrative in the past 50-something years. But recently, the Ambazonians got up, like I've seen in several countries, where they fought the imperialists and fought all kinds of people to make sure that they put them under bondage. Now some have fought and they're now freely living in their land. So that's why Ambazonia must visit some of these things, call the attention of those who went in there, because some of them did not know that the outcome was going to be for the good of some particular people. And when they saw that it was going to be for the good, they slowly poisoned the people that are clamoring and crying out for the good of the people, just like Tobias and Sambalak in the days of history. So we still have those kind of people who are still in the world today, not wanting the good of a particular group of people. You ask me, what is their gain in doing that? Your answer is a guess like mine. You can guess the answer. There is no gain, because if you kill me and I die before time, no matter how old you live, you are also going to die. And what you have killed me to gain, you will never, even if you have it, it will never make you to live forever. So what is the need? But humans don't reason that. And again, I have told you that we cannot afford to live in the physical without the spirit. The spirit is what gives us life. As you see me talking, this is just a cage that you are seeing. But the real me, that is me, is what you can see and you can hear coming out. That's the real me that is invisible, that is talking. And because the real me is invisible, there is only one person that can kill this cage and destroy that invisible me, and that is God. But every other human being can kill this body, but cannot touch the real me, which is the spirit. And so, if you can come back to your senses, I'm particularly now addressing to the Federal Republic of Germany, the United States of America, the French Republic, and the United Kingdom. These four powers that witnessed and signed the withdrawal of La République of Cameroon to its boundaries. When they thought that their boundaries were in southern Cameroon, he was shocked when the original note pointing out his boundary came. Then he went behind the messengers and killed some of them, like Kofi Annan, who was brutally killed before his age or before his time, like Professor Cha, who has recently been poisoned. When they pick you up, the mafia they kill you silently, believing that nobody knows who has killed you. But unfortunately for them, the person knows. Yes, he who's going to judge the whole world knows who has killed who. And you cannot escape from that blood guiltiness. You cannot escape. It's going to happen. And so, Ambazonians, tomorrow, God willing, and God helping, we shall be together again, looking into the details of this historical fact that you and I need to know and to understand that the human being is actually wicked. Because, again, I do not understand why you will sign a document and when it comes to implementation, you shy away. 2010, two maps came from the United Nations, and I am told that in the archives of the United Nations, those two maps are still there, telling La République of Cameroon that, look, Paul Biya, the game you are trying to play is not going to work, because actually you are in between two nations. And these two nations are divisible. They are divisible because their independent dates proved and showed the divisibility, of which your lies in the broad daylight, have not been able to cover. And so we shall be elaborating on this green tree agreement with the experts that we shall have. on our table to talk about it tomorrow. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is and it has been our pleasure to bring to you and to your knowledge the introduction of this particular documentary, reality, historical fact concerning Ambazonia. And because we shall be bringing the details tomorrow, I want to let you know, Ambazonians, that our Father knows your name. He is God our Father. He knows your name. Thank you, brethren.
You say I be a picking, no. Jesus, you say your love will cover me.
Sovereign silhouette, the emblem of Ambazonia. From the azure embrace of the Atlantic reflecting from the Ambas Bay, the iconic Fako Mountain ascends with a silent, stoic grace, carving a silhouette against the sky. This towering sentinel is more than a geographical marvel. It is the heart of southern Cameroons, the stoic guardian of Ambazonia, a symbol steadfast as the unyielding spirit manifests in the unity of the land's 13th counties. Encircling this earthen spire, a dove of peace edges its out, untouched and serene. As it soars with wings unfurled, it casts shadows upon the land, each feather a brushstroke of tranquility. Against the canvas of the heavens, 13 stars glimmer, the celestial acknowledgement of each county's shared dreams and harmonious virtues. The dove, in its eternal flight, is not merely a bird, but an embodiment of the collective longing for a peaceful existence under a shared identity. Beneath the mountain top, firmly grounded in the richness of the earth, twin elephant tusks rise as natural monuments. Their acts, regal and commanding, capture the noble essence of the land spirit animals. This emblem, this seal of Ambazonia, is no mere insignia. It is the beacon that illuminates the path to shared prosperity. It is an oasis of unity in a world parched by discord, a visual whisper of a nation's promise, echoing across generations. Every curve, every symbol within the emblem tells the story of Southern Cameroons, an epic scripted by the enduring strength and unity of its communities, each page imbued with the hopes and enduring spirit of its people. sovereign silhouette, the emblem of Amazonia.